Konnichiwa, Ryan des.
Hajime mashite, Laura des.
And we are Pin the World. All right, so that's a little spoiler for you, but I know what you're thinking. You see a video titled, with trip announcement in the title. You know that we went to exotic, scenic, lauded after Columbus, Ohio already this year. How are we gonna top the excitement of that in 2024? Well, we've got news for you, exciting news, because this fall we are going to Japan!
Woo! Woo! Yes, so we are going to Japan for 2 weeks in the fall.
Woo!
So we are a little bit early announcing this trip because we will be doing a monthly video kind of leading up to it. So we can tell you more about that later, but that's why we are here today, to tell you we're going to Japan, and
we're so excited about it.
We're excited to bring you along for the adventure as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
we've known about this for a little while. The first thing that we did was book our flights, and there happened to be a deal running, and sort of the numbers made sense. We were thinking about this even before that, so we were starting to watch flights, and then it was like, okay, it's the time to act.
Yeah.
So we did. And now I guess one of the questions you may be thinking is, why Japan?
Yeah, so it'll be my first international trip. I guess, right?
I mean, technically going to the States is international,
yeah,
but I always say, it'll be your first time crossing an ocean.
Right, so we picked Japan because Ryan has been there before. He spent 5 months in the Philippines and went, I don't know, what would you say, for a long weekend? Or
no, Japan was like a week and a half for me, but that was August 2009, so it has been a minute. But
Japan is very safe, as far as we know from our research, and very clean, and it just feels like a great place to kind of start with this trip across the ocean.
I'll say Japan was something that I was sort of pushing for, especially thinking that if I'm gonna coax Laura on a double digit in terms of hours flight, it's gonna have to be something good.
Yeah.
And it was that balance between sure, do we go somewhere in Europe or something? It's a little bit closer, maybe it's a little bit easier, but it's like, I want something that makes it an impression, and it's quite different in terms of like the culture and the sights.
Yeah,
but then also not something too out there. For example, when I landed in the Philippines, that was my first time crossing an ocean, and that's it's just it's a very, very different sort of vibe than what we're used to here in Canada. So I thought Japan is a great compromise. It's a G8 country. It's it'll be easy, but still very, very different, which is exciting.
Yeah, and we're definitely more interested in Asian culture than like Europe at this point in our lives. So yeah, the 13-hour flight that we're gonna take to get there, I am not so sure. The longest flight I've been on is like 6 hours-ish to BC. Maybe to California, is it about 6?
Even more, like 5.
Yeah, so BC is the longest. So if you have any tips for us, please let us know, like in terms of even like, I'm reading about like compression socks. I don't know if that's something that we should have. Like if you've been on a 13-hour flight and you have any tips, just let us know, because I am a little bit nervous about that.
Yeah, it's not that long. It's sort of like flying from Toronto to Disneyland, and then from Disneyland back to Toronto, and then from Toronto back to Disneyland.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
And it's a direct flight. So that is cool. That, I guess, we're just on the flight, we just go and then we get there. So hopefully we'll be able to sleep or do something. But anyways,
Yeah.
Where are we going?
Some of the big highlights. So maybe the $1,000,000 question and what you're curious about is, are we going to check out a Disney park while we're in Japan? And the answer is yes.
Obviously.
So that, I mean, I think that helped sweeten the deal for Japan as well. That was sort of an important component. So, you know, we're going to have, as Laura said, some subsequent videos coming out, but just to give you really high level broad strokes, we will be arriving in and departing from Tokyo.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, we've got 2 weeks. So we are going to spend a few days at Tokyo Disney. We're going to go to, each park for a couple of days, but then also we're going to, we're spending the majority of our time in Japan outside of Disney. So we'll be in Tokyo, we'll be in Kyoto, we'll be in Osaka, we'll have some day trips. It's going to be really special.
Yes, it is going to be great. So we do have, as you saw in the thumbnails, we do have a few brochures which have been very fun to peruse because Ryan's cousin is dating somebody from Japan. So he's actually been, how many times has he been now since?
Twice this year.
Okay,
I think his first and second time, but he's making the most of it, which is awesome. So
we've got some fun like maps of places we will go. This is somewhere we'll be going. So it's just really cool to see these, and that was really,
have something tangible.
So and then we have 2 books as well. So we haven't cracked any of these. We need to kind of get going on that, but we have this one, and then we got this one. Beautiful, aesthetic, like so nice. Be More Japan. So for me, I don't know if I'm going to want to come home, because if you guys don't know, Japan is still very much a culture of respect and making sure you're not like interfering with other people's enjoyment. Like they're very quiet. They're not like, they're just very respectful. Like put garbage in the garbage, like no talking on the subways. And I think that's going to be amazing, because frankly, like in Canada and the US, we're not very respectful anymore. We're very self-centered and just like care about me, but you really have to work together as a society to make it work. So that's my rant, but I'm very excited for that.
Do unto others, very concerned with sort of the collective is more the culture. It'll be a great time. So we do, Laura sort of makes it sound like we have to still go through those books and figure out what to do. We, at this point, I do have a lot of the details filled in, but that is a great segue into, we mentioned a monthly series. So you're going to see 1 video per month leading up to this trip. What are some of them going to be?
So for July, we'll be planning our Disney days, so come along for that video. That'll be very fun.
Spill all the details.
And then in August, you can expect a video from Ryan, trip planning in general. So that's kind of, he's gonna talk about how he plans trips, because he's very good at it, I think. And then in September, we will have food and the things we want to experience, so kind of like a bucket list of what we want to do. And then of course, in the month of October will be our pack with us. So
awesome.
That'll be cool, because it's kind of a different game, like packing for such a long trip and just like trying to pack minimally, but also make sure you have everything you need. So
and a different, interesting, the temperatures will be interesting when we're there, because it's like, some days could call for shorts, other days could call for long pants. It's different than packing for Florida in August, which is what we did in 2023, where it's, I'm not going to need my jeans, that's for sure.
We might need long pants for Japan. But anyways, I think that is pretty much it. But one more point before we go is that I am learning Japanese on Duolingo. So I have, today when we're filming, I am on my, I think, 57-day streak. So it's been super fun to kind of learn different words. It's trying to teach me kanji and some of the other ways of writing, but I don't really have the bandwidth to learn that, but it's been really fun. So I think I have like 100 words in my word bank right now, which is, it's cool.
Incredible.
Just some like pleasantries is what I wanted to learn essentially. And it's been like a cool project for me to practice that every day.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. So we're super, super pumped. And
we'll bring you guys along. I mean, there'll be you know, I suspect quite a few vlogs as a result of this coming out in the fall and into the winter, I'm sure. So we're looking very forward to it, and yeah, like we said, we'll bring you along some of the journey even before we leave with some of these forthcoming videos. But that's the big news, the trip announcement.
yeah, so yeah, let us know if you've ever been to Japan as well and you have any like tips or anything that you think we should attempt to do while we're there. Let us know.
Yeah.
And again, with the flight, if you have any insider knowledge about that, let us know.
Yeah. When I got to go to Asia way back when, it was for work, so I got to do business class. We're not doing that this time, that's for sure, because we are paying for it ourselves. So, you know, that'll be, you know, we'll get to share in that experience together now. This 12-hour flight at the back of the plane.
Yep. Woohoo. So, anyways.
Yeah.
That's it for today's video. So thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Sayonara.